All right, you guys, I am super duper duper excited to present to you the beautiful Angie. I am, like I said, I had a major nerd boner for this woman earlier. I think I got most of it out of my system. So I'm going to stop talking because we're not going to test it. But Angie, what I would love is if you wouldn't mind sharing with everybody kind of your journey in this business, kind of your story, a bit of like how you got started.
Yep, absolutely. So hey guys, I'm Angela Robinson, but feel free to call me Angie. That way you don't get tripped up on the way that it's spelled. That'll just totally just jerk you around. But I am originally from Maryland, so from the East Coast, but I have been in Texas for the last 8 years. I'm in Burleson, Texas, so right outside of DFW. I am a retired recording artist that went through a divorce. I was married for 16 years to my ex-husband, and then like we had totally should have gotten out of it long before that, like 14, years. I was probably unhappy for about 14 years. And then I moved to Texas to work on my last music project. And since I moved ahead of the family, I had some time to reflect. I had some time to be alone. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I feel alive again. I can breathe. And so I've got to do something about this. And so, me traveling the world and performing and doing all that kind of stuff was not really a great place to be when you're going through a divorce and you've got kids. I had 4 kids at the time. I now have 5. And so I needed to find something to do. But I just needed to live. So I ran and got a job. I hadn't had a job in over 12 years before I'd done that. And it sucked. I hated it. I worked in a call center. I made pennies while they made millions. And I did it for 2 years because as women, as moms, we do whatever we have to do, right? And then I was like, something has got to give. My life, this is not the end of my story. You cannot end like this. And so I had no idea how was I going to reinvent myself? What was I going to do? I had no clue, right? And I happened to be on Instagram one day and I saw Dana Barish, and I'm sure most of you are familiar with Dana Barish. I've actually known her. I don't know if you knew this story, Lucy. I've known her for 20 years now. She used to be my fitness instructor. So she was the one that got me into shape when I used to go on tours and stuff like that, right? Isn't that crazy? So, yep. So way back in the day, way before Pure Romance or slumber parties or anything like that. And so, we actually stopped working out together when she got pregnant with her child, Tegan. And I couldn't go all the way to her house in Annapolis. And so I just kind of fell off the map with the workout type thing. And, but just, I kept in touch over the years, just periodically I'd reach out and say, hey, how do I tone my thighs, or something whenever I got into the mode where I wanted to lose some more weight. And it's funny because I don't ever remember us having an in-depth conversation about what it is that she was doing with slumber parties before Pure Romance. I just vaguely remember she sent me to a website. I went there and I didn't see anything that interests me. And I was like, oh, I don't know what that is. Okay, well, shut it down, right? And so I saw her in a boat on the water and Instagram saying, hey, I'm in my mobile office. This could be you. What are you waiting for? That drip marketing, right? And I was like, wait a minute, what the heck is she doing? Because when we worked together, I was a struggling, starving artist and she was a broke fitness instructor, right? I mean, just call it what it is. And then now I'm stalking her Facebook page and looking at all her pictures and she's in all these gowns, she's walking stages, she's won cars. I'm like, what the heck? I need that life. So let me call her up. And I called her up. I'm like, Dana, what are you doing? She's like, Angie, go to my website. You'd be phenomenal at this. I had not held a dildo since 1996. Mind you, I've been in this business 4.5 years. Okay. So if you could have seen my face when I went to the website, I was like, oh, right. And I tell people it was like a whole new world. I'm like looking at all this stuff. I'm like, what the hell is that? And what do you do with that? But I was desperate. And I'm telling this story because this is important when you think about other women that you're talking to that you think are never going to do the business. Like it's important to just keep the lines of communication open because timing's everything. And this woman had known me for years and she wasn't bringing my phone off the hook. She wasn't calling me trying to tell me to join her team. She never did that. I just watched her on social media. And then she told me to go to her website and, I bought a kit not even knowing what the heck I was buying a kit to do. I'd never been to a party. I'd never heard of a party before, none of that stuff. I just needed change. I needed money. I needed fun. And I was trusting this woman that I could do what she was doing. And I just bought a kit. So that's how I got into the business, was just like that.
I I love stories like yours because I feel like so many leaders they were just like, you know what, I just said screw it and I did it. And I feel like when we approach sponsoring, we treat it like these women are like signing a lifelong contract. So I love, I just love for women to hear that they're out there, you guys, and they will join your team as long as you are accessible, available, and they know what you do. When the timing is right, they will be on your team. So will you share with us what you feel like your business superpowers are? What are you, Miss Angie, good at? Like, what's your jam?
Well,
Other than land
sponsoring.
tracks, which I'm Googling, by the way.
Oh yeah, definitely do.
Yeah.
You'd love my last music video, Angelia Robinson. Who are you? Look that up.
Done.
You'll love it. But definitely my superpower is sponsoring, right? For sure, it's sponsoring. The fact that I am relentless. People used to say, remember that term? They would say WWJD. What would Jesus do?
Uh-huh.
Like people had like actually switched that up and said WWAD. What would Angie do? Right? Because I'm the girl that would not take no for an answer. It was just like, no, like I'm the girl I'm the one that leads the horse to water and makes him drink. It's it, right? So that's definitely my superpower is sponsoring, just persuasion, and just, authentic, loving and caring people it takes me a long way. For sure with my clients, with my business, that type of energy just cannot be bought, and it's very, very important, especially when people are spending their money with you, or if they're trusting you to take them on a journey, to lead them on a journey. They need to be able to trust you and feel like you really care. You know what I mean? So it doesn't have to, always entail hand holding, but it does have to entail that you, like Lucy said, make yourself accessible before, during, and after even. I tell girls, listen, if you decide that this isn't for you and you're no longer on our team, girl, it's not like we're no longer sisters. Like, we're sisters forever. That's how I treat it, because people do come back. You'll be surprised. I mean, we've got stories in this company of people that came back and shoot, now have multi-million-dollar teams.
Yeah.
So.
Hell yeah. I love that. Okay, we are going to open it up for questions, you guys. If you want, feel free to drop questions in the chat the entire time. I will be monitoring the chat, kind of looking for different questions. But who's got a question for Angie? You guys, let's hear them. Otherwise, I'm going to let Amber loose on her some more.
I'm reading about the sing off. It's so funny.
Okay, y'all took too long. I'll go. She gave you a chance. You had it. You blew it. I would like to know, is there something that you learned later than you would like to have, or something that flipped your business in a upward direction that, had you have known earlier, would have just changed everything?
Hell yeah. Show up, like train, stay a student. Like, seriously, I always tell people I am the poster child. I mean, think about my life. I've had a music career. I used to own a hardwood flooring company with my ex-husband. I should be okay. I should have been okay financially before Pure Romance. Right? But because I wasn't staying a student and learning, how to sustain what I had done, then I had nothing to show for what I'd done. So I'm telling you, that damn Future Leader program was a game changer for me. Like, some people really need to have that accountability, and I was one of them. Like I said, I've always known about goal setting, right? But I was the girl that would write the goals down when they told you to, and then I don't know where the book is. Right? So I'm not following none of that stuff, right? Okay, so that was me for so long, but then you get into this, now I'm very competitive, right? In a friendly, sometimes annoying way, right? You may not like playing games with me, I don't know, but I'm very competitive. And so you put me in this program where you're telling me that at the end, I'm going to win a trip if I do X, Y, and Z. Well, I can't be the girl that's not going to get the trip if everybody else is going to get it, right? And so my focus, like you always hear Chris say, commit to the process and detach from the outcome. So we had homework, we had assignments, we had things that we had to do that was being checked. Like, it wasn't like you could just blow it off and nobody was going to notice. You were going to get kicked out. I'm going to tell you, that year, to the class of 2016, I don't know what they're doing after the fact, but they were very strict with us. You could not miss this. You could not hit your minimums, all that kind of stuff, or you got kicked out of the program. So I wasn't going to be kicked out of the program. So I did everything that I was supposed to do. So if we had to say, okay, how many parties you're going to do this month? How much is your retail going to be? All those things we had to write. And by the end of the year, Amber, like, I look back on I'm going to tell you, this moment, I think about this. We were in Florida, World Conference, and I was in the lobby, and Jen Kelly walks up to me and says, "You're a fucking rock star." And I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is Jen Kelly saying, what? Are you sure you're talking to me? I'm Angelia Robinson. Do you know who I am? You know, she's like, we just came out of a meeting. She's like, I don't think I'm supposed to tell you this. She's like, but honey, your business, your personal business is up like 86% and your team is up 67%. You are killing it. I lied to you. I broke down in tears because I had no clue that those things were happening because I was just committed to the process. I was not thinking about the outcome besides just, you know, walking the stage and going on a trip. But I started out with maybe like 6 girls on my team and I ended up with maybe like 22 by the end of the year. Had no idea that that's what my business now looked like. So that would be the one thing that I would read. I'm like, man, if I had done this type of discipline with other businesses, there's no telling what kind of money or where else I'd be having an influence right now.
Awesome. Okay, I love it. All right, these girls dropped all the questions in the chat. I was like, yes, here we go. So one of the questions, I'm going to reword the question a little bit. So I'm assuming that this is what it means. If it doesn't hit it, Tabitha, let me know. What would be your tip for social sellers? Basically, what would be your sales tips for women who don't have product like in their hands to check out, see, kind of demo? So just kind of top sales tip for social sellers.
I was just talking to the girls about this the other day, because we've seen some of that stuff. Like Tammy Potter was showing how you actually cut out, you know, the different pictures out of the catalog, or if you print them offline and cut them out, put them on popsicle sticks and stuff like that. And then she was even putting like the lingerie on the Barbie dolls. I thought that was classic. I'm like, oh my gosh. And people think that is so much fun. You know what I'm saying? So that would be one thing. If you're doing parties, right, and you want to be able to have something to show, that's one thing. Or even having a catalog. I mean, because how many times do we have a catalog party? If you're talking about things, you send them the flipbook link so that they can follow along with you. If you are honest with people and tell them, listen, I'm brand new to the business, you know, I don't really have a lot of product. As long as you're upfront with people are, you know, I mean, you got some people out there that are just, you know, anal, but for the most part, people are going to be understanding. They're going to be forgiving. I know girls that have rocked out like in-home parties with no product, no demo, and done like $1,000, $1,500 parties. So it's all about you being confident. You know, first of all, we've got the cue cards and stuff like that are on the training site. So if you go to training.pureromance.com, and then you can just hit resources and in the search box type cue cards, and it'll, hey, can you, I know you were helping me with the light, but I think it's like washing me out. Can you turn it down some? So you can actually print off like by category, you know, like bath and beauty, and then your anal toys, and then now you made me really dark, but okay, thank you. But as long as they can see me, it's okay. Maybe you need to move it back some, or it's probably put it behind me. It's my little assistant right here, right? She's trying to be helpful.
I'm like, sweetie, your celebrity just showed a little bit, right? Like, oh no, we gotta move that light.
Yeah, it's not working. Yeah, but the cue cards are great to be able to have it. And you can actually listen, if you're doing a virtual party and you put the cue card right up here on your laptop, nobody even knows that you're even reading from it. And they give you not only a description of the product, but they also give you the daggone spiel, what to say. Oh, the luxurious way that this feels on your body and blah, blah, blah. Like you get all of those things it has right there for you. So yeah, definitely don't even trip off of that. You're not having any product. You definitely can sell these products because people are not actually buying the products right away. They're buying you. They're buying the feeling that you're giving them.
I love that. I love that. What would be do you have any like top quick tips for virtual parties and increasing virtual party sales?
Did you say 10 tips? Did you say 10? What did you say?
No, top tips. Top tips. Quick tips. Oh yeah, just bust them out, Angie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, go.
Okay, so I would definitely say, listen, you don't have to like totally revamp what you've done from your in-home parties. Like, I haven't really revamped or done anything like differently than what I've done at my in-home parties. We're just not able to physically touch each other, but still do your sponsoring games, you know, still do your, and then, oh, Lucy, was it you that told us about that thing, give me that thing right there. Wait, I think it was you.
I don't know, girl.
That
was Amber. Yep, it was Amber's.
Right? Okay. So you sold, Amazon needs to give you a check
Yeah.
You know, because so many of us brought this thing, right?
Yep.
So little fun, quirky things that you can do just to add to the excitement, but still really don't have to really change up things, you know? And I mean, you've got like a pro here, your leader, Lucy, and how to up, up the sale and all that, right? How to get more out of people. But I think, just your energy. You're not in front of people, physically, you're in front of a screen. And so be a little bit more energetic. Play some music. You have so many different options with you being home. Like I always start my parties with Cyndi Lauper's Girls Just Want to Have Fun. So girls were all, and I'm like, woo! Like, come on, girls, we ready, we excited. So you always want to be able to sell them that feeling, right? And when you get them into the shopping room, first of all, make sure you're doing the breakout sessions. So if you're doing the shopping, don't let them get off that call. Do not let them go. Listen, I'm like, okay, girls, I let them know at the beginning of the party what is going to happen at the end when it comes to going to Vegas. And I tell them the experience is still going to be private, so what's going to happen at the end of the party? I said, just imagine you're physically at a party. And so what happens when it's time to shop? One girl gets up, goes to Vegas, and the rest of you sit back and mingle. You have your drinks, you have your snacks, you talk about the products and all the fun that you had and all this, that, and the other. You make your wish list. So that's what you're going to do while we're in the shopping room. So everybody just kind of hang out here. So before anybody tries to disappear, I basically arrest them and say, everybody, nobody leave. Everybody stay here. The party is still happening. Okay? So those are things that I do. You have to assume the sale from everyone. Assume it. Don't ask permission. You're just going to assume that everybody is shopping. Okay. One of the other things I do to make sure that there's no lull in who's going to be going first is like, okay, so who's going to be the first one to go to Vegas? The first one to go to Vegas gets the best prize. They're like, oh, I'll go. Like everybody's now, jumping to be able to go first. So those are definitely tips that I do. One more, I would say, getting them to pre-register beforehand, however you decide to do it. I know that some people do it through Zoom. I choose to do it through my Google Forms. And so what I do is have them all to complete the Google form. And then that way I'll send them all the flipbook link. So I have that. That way, if they ghost the party, I've got their information. I can still follow up with them and still get the sale, right? And then for the girls that don't fill it out, that are on the party, I ask at the beginning, okay, who didn't fill out the Google form? If you did not, I need you to text me right now. Text me, I'll put the number in the chat, what have you, text me right now. And that way I'm going to send you a digital copy of the catalog. So that's for the girl that's trying to be stingy with her information. Like she purposely didn't fill it out. She don't want to give it to you, but she wants the catalog because everybody else is looking, right? So I got her number now. So even if she doesn't give me her address and all that other good stuff, I have a way to reach out to her after the party.
That's super smart. I love that. Okay. And then we've got, I'm digging that. I'm loving the, you got to send this to me so I can get you a catalog right now. That's smart. Mm-hmm. So we've got a couple gals that are asking about bookings. So number one, we've got a lot of newer consultants that are on the call. So what would you say is the best way to get bookings as a new consultant or kind of restarting your business? If you've got no parties on the books to book parties at parties, mm-hmm. How do you go about getting some parties in your calendar?
Well, with a little bit of guidance, right? Because I know that for the newbies, they probably need some, and I know that you've got some great leaders that would. That daggone dumb post about, hey, I've got 3 shopping sprees to give away type of thing. I don't know what it is about that post, but anybody can get a party with that post, right? But you just need for your sponsor or your leader to give you the dialogue to be able to follow up with them. And so whenever you're posting something like that, you always want to make sure that it's in a background image from Facebook so that it's being seen. And for some reason, it gets a lot of visibility. So if you're typing in there, hey, I've got 3, shopping spree, 3 $50 shopping sprees. If you want one, type me in the comments, and your feed will blow up. And then you can follow up with a private message to everyone. You're not just picking 3 people, but you're going to follow up with every single one of those people and let them know what it is that you're offering. And I don't know, Lucy, if you and your girls have ever done that post. I just feel like everybody in Pure Romance has. And so definitely, if you want to try that and get the dialogue from your leaders, it really is a gold mine. It's the easiest way I have found that girls have been able to book parties. And then there are other things that are similar to that, where you've seen, people, have a picture of a bucket that has a bunch of little products in it and just says, hey, if you want a freebie, comment here. Or I think 4th of July is coming up, so having the post up that has hit the stars or whatever it have you for a prize. And don't be afraid in those responses to ask people and say, hey, thank you so much for being willing to help me. to start my business by hosting a party for me. I'm so excited to spoil you with lots of freebies. It's all in how you word things that makes people actually want to say yes. Number one, they don't feel like they have to do a whole lot of work. Sometimes girls get scared when they hear host because they think they're the ones that's doing the talking, you know. So you gotta be, you know, make sure that you're clear that they don't have any of that responsibility and that they'll be able to get some free stuff. Always got to make it about them, even when you're making it about you, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I feel like keep it simple. Sometimes like, you know, we see these booking posts that pop up and I'm like, God, like that is so much information. I think that's part of why the shopping spree one works. We haven't posted that one in a minute. So I wrote that down to make sure that that gets posted for you guys because we haven't done it. But it literally is like, I've got 3 $50 shopping sprees. Who wants one? Like, comment me below. Like, that's it. And here's one thing that I want to address with everybody. And Angie, I'd love your input on this too. Sometimes we get gals on the team that are like, but if I post that, it's misleading. What if they get upset that they didn't just win it and they have to have a party? Stop it. Stop shitting on your business before it even starts.
Yep. Absolutely. Definitely. You gotta listen, you'll be surprised at what people pick up from your energy without you even saying something. It's weird. Don't ask me. I'm not the creator of the earth, but it is like, you don't even have to say something, but just if you're thinking it, as a man thinketh, so is he. I'm a big believer in manifesting things. And if you're already thinking that you're going to fail before you even try, then more than likely you're going to fail. You cannot have those, like, you've got to get those negative thoughts out of your head. And if you have negative people that are around you speaking negative things, you have got to get away from those people. I mean, I don't know if it's a temporary thing or if it's got to be a long-term thing, but at least until you can get into a position to where you're feeling confident. You know, you're new in this business, you know, you may not feel it, but may not be feeling so confident. You don't need people telling you off the break what you can't do. You know, like, you need people that are around you celebrating you and cheering you on. You would be surprised at all the people that actually will give you great, you know, feedback and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely the negative thinking. Look, listen to some podcasts that are motivating, that are energizing, you know, listen to some books, all those things to get those, the negative whispers out of your head.
Awesome. Do you feel like, so one of the questions was kind of, so I feel like these kind of tie in together. What do you do when you get no's kind of over and over and over again? And then also, how do you get people to actually commit to the parties? Do you have any specific verbiage that you feel like helps, you know, kind of just lock it in?
Well, first I would want to know from Angie, when somebody tells me that they're always getting no's from people, I kind of really need to hear what the conversation's like. I need to know the people that you're talking to, and then I need to know like what your commercial is or what it is that you're saying to them. Because if you're only getting, and then like, you know, sometimes, and I don't know if this is your case, Angie, but some people will say, oh, I just keep getting no's, and they maybe only ask 10 people. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a I keep getting no's type of thing. You've only been in the business for a month and you just keep getting no's. I don't consider that as somebody that just keep getting no's if it's just been like a month's time. Like, I started this business in Texas not knowing anybody. So I'm definitely one that can speak to the fact that you can book parties with people whether you know people or not. And you actually are at an advantage if you don't know people, because your friends and family are not going to help you anyway. And that is just the nature of the business. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nothing personal. Don't take it personal. Don't be mad at your family, because I know that it's easy to take it personal because you're probably thinking like, damn, if my own family won't support me, then nobody else is going to support me. No, that's BS. Ask any successful businessman or woman. They will tell you that your family is not going to make you rich. It is always going to be strangers. I have so many amazing, you know, people in my life because of my business that were strangers that are now friends, you know, or that I consider to be friends that I didn't even know before, right? And so it's always going to be about your energy. It's always going to be about a conversation. I did like a really cool video like that was like a mock-up of, you know, walking into a store and how you actually strike up a conversation with someone to actually get them to be interested in your business. So that would be one thing, is that I would want to know how the conversation is. And if we get a chance to talk with her and have her say it, I'd love the challenge to be able to hear it. And then what was the other thing that you were saying, Lucy? Do you remember after that? I went on a tangent and I forgot now.
No, that was perfect. That was totally perfect. I think that was awesome. So I think okay, so let's actually, I'm going to shift it a little bit.
Oh,
so,
I know what it was, in case you want to hit it.
Yeah.
It was, how do you lock in the party? How do you make sure that people actually are doing the party?
Yep.
right? First of all, I'm gonna tell you the magic thing that I learned from Dana in the very beginning of this business is, like you mentioned that, I think you mentioned in the beginning, maybe you're just on the leader call, that people don't want to feel pressured, and they're afraid of that. So if you just tell people that you want to pencil them in on your calendar, they're not signing their name in blood. They're not signing a contract. You're going to pencil them in. And why are you penciling them in? Because your parties are so popular and your book fills up really quickly. Like, you need to create that FOMO with them right away. Be like, listen, girl, I would love to be able to spoil you. And why don't we just like pick a date? I can pencil you in. And then once you get home and you get to check your calendar, we can always change it, right? You're not going to be locked into it, but my parties are really popular. And I want to make sure that you get a first choice on a date. If you change the date, you'll get the first choice over someone that's not already on my books. That like works 99% of the time. And most of the time, people are not going to straight up just cancel on you. They will probably just reschedule or change the date. You've now made a connection with that person. And if you give them a little something, like even if it's just a little sweet treat, little goodie bag or something like that, get their information, the law of reciprocity is now at work. When you give someone something, they now feel obligated to give you something. No matter what it is, it's just real. That's how it happens, right? Now, once you've locked the party in on your calendar, that still doesn't mean that the party's going to happen, right? Your hostess coaching is pivotal. Like, I do hostess coaching conversations. Like, it's not just a text thing. I do text and I do conversation. I call it a PPC, and that is a party planning chat. I'm going to have a PPC with everyone that I'm doing a party for, even someone that's done a party with me before, because things may have, that call will just be a little bit quicker than, someone I've never partied with, but I want to know, about the party. I want to know, what it is, is it a special occasion, what have you, how many people are you expecting, we're going to set up an invitation, because what happens when you do that, you are building a rapport with that person. It makes it a whole lot harder for them to cancel on you or ghost you if they now like you and they're starting to build a rapport with you. I have had girls that have told me that all hell broke loose the week of their party and that they needed to cancel that party, but they did it because all they thought about was me. They were like, oh my God, like, man, I really don't want to have this party, but I am not going to cancel on Angelia, because we've now built that rapport. So that call is very, very important.
Do you schedule that with them, or do you just call them?
Nope, I schedule it and I let them know what works for me. So those calls I do every Wednesday, and I ask them, I'm not a morning person, if you guys didn't know that, because I stay up all night long, right? And I sleep in intervals. That's what my team says. She sleeps for like 2 hours and then she gets up and she works, and then she'll work all day and maybe sleep another 3 hours. So it's Wednesdays, and I say, are afternoons or evenings better for you? And of course, you can always, modify that. If someone, works on a Wednesday and it doesn't work for them, then, just case by case basis. But normally my schedule is Wednesdays is when I do those calls.
Cool. I love that. I think that's really cool. I think, because I feel like a lot of that has gotten lost. Like, so many, myself included, I hate the phone. I feel like people don't want to schedule anything, but that's just what I tell myself so I can get away with not doing it. But
very good, Lucy, that you admit that.
Yeah, I can own that shit 100%. So I love, because it's just one more way to kind of connect with people. Now, I know that you are naturally a people person, and I know that you naturally connect with people. Are you an extrovert or an introvert?
It's really, did you ask me that question? You're just asking for the people right in the back, but you really already know.
Oh, of course I know, girl.
Definitely an extrovert.
Yeah. So Maggie, I'm not sure that she is the 100% best person to ask about tips for introverts, but she might have something for you.
I got one for you.
Yeah, you go, baby.
Maggie, you got to find your inner Sasha Fierce. Okay, I asked Catherine Finkelman my first year going to training. I attended one of her live parties, and damn, if you've never seen Catherine do a party, that girl is phenomenal and she's funny. And so I remember thinking, now I don't look at myself as funny, but I'm fun, right? I think I've gotten funnier doing these parties and learning all the things from trainings and stuff. But I went up to her and I was like, man, I said, you were so good and you were so funny. I would never be able to do a party and be as fun as you. And you know what she said to me, Maggie? She said, Angie, she said, I'm an introvert. She said, that person that you see up there, that is not me. She said, I get up there and I become someone else. And if you think about the likes of Beyonce, you think about Prince, you think about Michael Jackson, these are some of the greatest entertainers of all time. And they get up on that and they're nervous before they get on that stage. I mean, like very, very nervous, and they're naturally shy people. But they get up on that stage and they transform and they find they become someone else. So you've got to find out who your alter ego is, girl, and just get up there and just transform.
I love it. And I feel like too, I know I tell a lot of the women at my parties, as a heads up, you guys, I just want to let you know that y'all just saw Party Lucy, but as soon as we go into that ordering room, you're going to see me go, woo! It's like the Energizer Bunny powered down is literally what it's like. And you're going to get ordering room Lucy. So I'm totally fine. I'm not tired. I'm really excited to be there. But I just put on, you know, a 2-hour Broadway show. So Mama tired, and I want to be at your level. I don't want to be putting on a show when I'm in the ordering room with you. So just know I'm super excited. I am really engaged, but you're going to get to see the softer side of Lucy Hyman. And they're all like, oh my gosh, okay, cool. Because it is an alter ego, right? Like, I love that. That's such a good way of explaining it. So yeah, find your, and I want to know your alter ego stage names. That's going to be everyone's challenge.
And you know what, Maggie, also, if this is something that you can do, you know that you don't have to, you could take an assistant, and that assistant does not have to be a pure romance consultant. It just has to be a woman 18 or over, right? And I will have you girls know that I never do a show alone. I didn't start out like that, but it's a part of my training process with my girls. And I feel like the more that I have them with me, and I take an assistant every time, she's learning. And it's also helping me to be able to get in and out of the party. And we're able to put on a better show, because it's now two of us actually interacting and engaging with one another, and we play off of each other, and it helps to strengthen each other. You know, like when we get around each other as sisters, when we have booking blitzes and we're together, we book all the damn parties, right? Because you're pulling from everybody's energy. When you're alone, it's a little different. But when you get together with each other, you're pulling from each other's energy. So definitely, Maggie, that's one thing. Even for your virtual parties, if you have, you know, people that, you know, I don't know where you live or what your situation is or how you social distance or stuff like that. But like my daughter, who you just saw, she is a consultant. I know she looks like a baby, but she's 20. She's a consultant, and she assists me at my virtual parties. You know, so, you know, she'll come in and do a lot of, you know, surprise to the people, and then she'll be in the Zoom, and then she'll be off to the side, like taking little notes, or she'll remind me things that I forgot. And so you just kind of like, you know, share each other's energy. And when I did my party at National Training, year before last, I think it was, I don't know. But that's how I did it, because I wanted people to see that, is that I have someone that I actually work with at my parties every time, and this is how it works together. It is a show that we literally put on.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. And I think too, another thing is it will always give you someone that's present, that's supporting you. Right. So like, I'm not gonna lie, like it's happened to everybody. Sometimes you just have some parties, and like, I literally, guys, had one party, and if I'm not making people laugh, I want to die on the inside. Like, I literally, that's my, you know, woke up in high school, you know, without a shirt on nightmare, is people not laughing at my parties. And I had one, and they were awful. I got so uncomfortable that I literally at one point made a joke. Nobody laughed. And I was like, come on, guys. And still nobody laughed at me. So I went into the bathroom. I'm like, okay, guys, like, that's it, wrap. Give me 5 minutes. We'll go to the ordering room. I went into the bathroom and I bawled my eyes out, right? Like, I just started crying. So I love the idea of having someone that's there for you too, no matter what.
Absolutely. Because, you know, on those days that you're not feeling well, like we all have them. And it's so funny, right? Because if you have, like, I mean, I know that some of you have like regular jobs, but just, I'll speak for me. On a regular job, I've been called out sick like nobody's business, right? I'm not calling out sick on my party. I'm gonna be doing a party half dead if I have to. Like, I'm going to get that money, okay? So I'm going to do the party. But I can tell my assistant before I go, hey, you know what? I'm really not feeling that well. I need you to back me up, you know, and then they will, you know, so they can be there to actually kind of pick up the pieces if they see you low energy or things like that or what have you. So yeah, it's definitely a great option for you.
Awesome. Okay, guys, who else has a question or a follow-up on any of the tips that she's dropped for us so far? give you guys a chance to do that. Any super hot tips for your Facebook group, your VIP group?
No, I don't really have hot tips for that. That's kind of like a weakness for me, I would say, my
Okay.
VIP, only because I'm all over the place. So I feel like I'm not giving one thing all of the attention. I'm probably more active on my main page than I am even in my VIP. I only really kind of rev up my VIP when I have something going on. So yeah, so I'm a little guilty of that. Like that's not my
Oh.
strength.
What are your tip? What do you post on your, what do you like, what is your personal page look like?
Oh, you guys should go look at it. It's probably all over the place. It's, you know, lots of funny things. It's family things. It's, you know, promotional things. It's so funny. I had like I said, I like to manifest things. And so I had someone to create an image of me on the cover of Essence magazine.
I saw
You
that.
know,
I love it. I love it. I used that in the group for all the girls, so they've seen it.
Right. So, you know, little things like that, you know, I'll post. It depends. Sometimes I may highlight one of my team members if they did something. Like one of the girls on my team, man, the girl can cook, she can bake. So she's got like this other side thing she does, and she was featured in a magazine. And so I'm sharing that. So just, you know, not throwing up all pure romance all over them, but just, you know, funny, you know, engaging posts, of course, to keep the algorithms up, you know, things about my family. My husband and I, which we haven't done it a while now that I'm saying it, and people love it. And I really need to like create a YouTube page for it. But we it's called The Flip Side. My husband and I do a show together, and people love it because he's like this reformed gangster guy that has this, you know, way he thinks about how things should be in women and life and all that. And then, you know, he's the flip side where I'm the one that's more rational and all that kind of stuff. And he's bringing it to them raw and real, and they love him, right? Of course, they really love him. So just things like that. Find little things like that that make people excited to come to your page and see what's Lucy doing today, what's Amber doing today. Let me go and check and see that page. And also, it makes Facebook actually push your, you know, their information out there if it's something that people are engaged with.
Okay. All right, guys, last call for questions before we let her go. Like, I'm like,
Oh God, don't go. Tell me all the things. Just don't stop. Ah.
My daughter's laughing in the background.
well, yeah, your mom, she doesn't want to hear what you have to say. She's like, why do these people want to listen to mom?
They hear it all the time and could probably regurgitate every moment. When I hear my 6-year-old talk, it's insane how much he can talk about business and pure romance and the zealous zebras, all the things. It's
I
crazy.
love it. I love it. Okay, so what would you say? Leave us with one, just Angie tip, anything you want, something you think everyone in this business should do, know, feel.
Definitely my favorite quote is, "It's never too late to be who you might have been."
Ooh.
Yeah, it's my favorite quote. George
Ooh.
Eliot, "It's never too late to be who you might have been." So no matter what your circumstances are, no matter what your background is, no matter how old you are, how, you know, whatever mistakes you've made, all that kind of stuff, it's not too late to be where you might have been. And it doesn't even have to be a pure romance thing. You know, like maybe you wanted to always open a restaurant. Maybe you wanted to, you know, go and join a cabaret on a cruise ship. I don't know, whatever it is, you know, it's not too late for you to do that thing. But it's going to be most important that you ladies believe in yourselves. You can't let anybody tell you that you can't do something, right? One thing I've been teaching girls in this business, and it seems to be something that they can actually grasp a hold of, is that you have to have, I say, you know, remember that song, You're Down with OPP? Right? So now I've got this thing, it's like, you're down with CPP, okay? You got to have consistency, passion, and patience. Consistency, passion, and patience. You can't get anything without consistency. If you think that you're going to get into this business and you're going to be rich overnight, then you need to rethink it, because it's not going to happen, right? It just doesn't happen like that. Rome wasn't built in a day. You need to have passion for something, because as long as you have passion for something, you know, anytime that you own a business, it's always going to have its ups and downs. Pure Romance has been very fortunate that as a company, they've always been on the ups, right? But, you know, it doesn't always happen like that. So when you do hit those valleys, you've got to have something that keeps you going, which is your why, right? We talk about that. Your why has got to be bigger than the money. It's got to be bigger than how many parties you booked this week, today, or this month, or whatever, or bigger than a title and all those different things. Like, you've got to have a passion for what it is that you're doing. You think about the mission that we have, and that's to empower, educate, and entertain. If you put those things first, that you literally are helping to change someone's life, right? And not just in that moment, but even generations of lives. Because I don't know about you, but my parents didn't talk to me about sex. I didn't get that, you know, so I've learned all of that with pure romance. So as you are actually pouring into one woman at a party, she then now is sharing that with her daughter or her son. And then now as they get older, they're now also, they're not like they're not actually carrying on the old tradition of not talking about that, not having that conversation. So you're changing generations of people's lives. So if you have a passion for actually helping people, then you're never going to be like, oh, I quit this business, it's not working. Because what's not working? I always tease and say I'm out here saving the world one vagina at a time, right? Okay, so that's what we're doing, right? And so when things get hard, when things get tough, you know, you go harder. So you've got to have the passion for it. If you don't have the passion for it, then yeah, I'll admit you probably won't last very long. You need to have passion, right? And you got to have patience, because, and I use this, I've been using this lately, is that Jen Kelly built a multi-million-dollar team in 3 years. Sarah Whitehead took her 10. It's not that they're doing, okay, and then Lucy too, right? So she's saying, we're all fishing in the same pond. Chris talked about this. He used this as an analogy at one of our trainings. And that, you know, Anna, you might, you know, we could be fishing in the same pond, and you throw your line in and you pull out the marlin. And then I pull out some little crappie, right? And so now you've got, you know, you're eating good off that marlin, right? You're eating well. I'm over here starving with this one little piece of fish, you know, and then I throw my line out again, and I'm throwing my line out, and it's month after month, year after year, and damn it, I've not gotten that marlin. But by the 10th year, I might get that marlin. So if you have it in your mind that you're in this for the long haul, that you're in here to help people, and the benefit from that is that you're going to make good money in the process, then you'll be around for a long time, and you'll be successful, and you'll have a story like Lucy, and you'll have a story like so many other women in the business. You're mute. Okay.
That's good. I was literally about to hit send on the message that I was doing again. We was doing our little thing. Here's the deal. No line, no fish. And to me, that's the moral of the story. Like Angie said, you never know when you're going to catch the marlin. But then sometimes I hear women that are like, but it's still not happening for me. It's still not happening for me. But when I look at your Facebook, when I talk to you about your parties, when I talk to you about if you've had enough no's, have 1,000 women said no to you yet? No, then you're not casting a line. So keep fishing, right? No matter what, you've got to keep fishing. So here's my little disclaimer for everybody. If you guys have more questions for Angie, if you have anything that you would like for her to share with us, you guys know my rule. You have to post in the Ringleaders page. Let me know that it's a question for Angie. She is not in the group, but she can be. So we can either tag her, add her, or I can pass the question along so that I can drop her answer for everybody. Please follow her. Do not friend her. We love her and we respect her time. So we do not all want to be hitting her up with the same questions. So I know she is willing to answer because all of the leaders in this company are, but then I'm like, but then only you get to benefit. So as always, please do not hesitate to have questions for these leaders. Just make sure you share them with the team so that everybody can benefit. Angie, thank you so much for being here with us. This was amazing. Awesome. You are awesome. Will you sing for us before you go? Like, can our exit music be Angie singing to us?
Oh, no, let's see. Please allow me to introduce myself to you. I'm Angelia, a child of God just like you. And though we may not look the same, God still called my name. Said he had a job for me to do. Made an offer I could not refuse. See, he anointed me to bring you good news. Brought me out of darkness to help see you through. So do you mind if we have a conversation? Or should I scream? Would it bring more inspiration? 'cause I've got a lot more range, but my tone won't stay the same, so I think I'll keep it right here. So every word that I say is clear. If it's all right, if it's okay with you. If not, I'll do what I have to do. 'Cause I'm just a vessel being used.
Woo!
You're on mute. We can't hear you.
Oh. I was gonna say, and mic drop, we are out just like that. Angie was in the house. Thank you so much, babe. You guys
You're
give her
welcome.
love. That was
I can't wait to see you guys at World
awesome.
Conference next year.
Yeah.
Yes. Thanks for having me, Lucy. Love you, girl.
Gosh, thank
Go
you
rock out
guys.
your businesses.